Okay, it works now. All right. So are you ready?
Let's go.
Right. So welcome everyone to the first episode of our Web3 podcast. And today my guest is Jamar James from DCG. Jamar, how are you today?
Man, awesome. Thank you for having me. It is a pleasure and I'm doing great.
Yeah, we've been planning this for a while, but I'm happy that we finally got a chance to have a chat.
Yeah, now it's
So
been when you call, I always try to answer.
yeah, I mean, you always answer, but like it's always like either like it's not a good time for me, and you are very busy as well, so you have like your things going on.
Yeah, I mean that's just a part of the crypto culture. It is, we
Yes.
have some people, we get so overwhelmed with everything that we're working on.
Yeah.
But the human part is still the most important.
Yes. So for the layout of this show, I just want to make it clear for the viewers that um, I'm gonna try to keep it more about Jamar James rather than the DCG, but I have a feeling that we are gonna go towards DCG naturally because that's your thing.
Hey, it's
So
a lifestyle.
sorry.
I say it's a lifestyle. DCG
Yes,
is like
DCG is
putting on
Jamar
a
James.
uniform.
Yeah, so we can start from the beginning. Like I tried to spy on you a little bit. I tried to stalk you and your social medias to learn a bit more, but all I could find was DCG. I did find a few things about some mentions about the military.
Right. So you want to give you a kind of a excerpt? I mean,
Yes, please.
yeah, man. I think that's how my freedom journey started. I grew up in Oakland, California. I grew up in a community-based environment where everything was about being together. And then I joined the Marines, which is it's like the #1 U.S. code. When you become a Marine, it's a certain level of pride, and it's a certain level of familiar. Everybody's familiar
Yeah,
with each other.
yeah.
And so I joined the Marine Corps back in 1994. I spent 4.5 years in the Marines. I traveled, went to Korea, Okinawa, um, Japan. I went a lot of places in Southeast Asia. But the experience that I gained, like the leadership and the community, and taking care of one another, that also got me into the financial markets because while I was in the Marine Corps, I was also getting my 3 and 6 license. I joined a sort of a MLM back then called Prime America, and that is how I really got into finances. I always wanted to be a stockbroker when I was a kid. I
Yeah,
grew up in Oakland. I went across the bridge to San Francisco,
yeah,
went to school in San Francisco, and I used to always go by the financial district. And so I wanted to know about finances at a young age, but it was no one in my environment. And then when I went to the Marine Corps, you know, the amount of travel that we did, I always wanted to manage my own money and learn about it. And
yeah,
so when I was stationed in Tustin, which is Orange County, California, I joined. Um, you know, I was looking for financial education, and in the Marine Corps, that's when I first got exposed. One, to leadership, to the community, and then also financial products like mutual funds, buying stocks and things of that nature. But I never wanted to trust or hire someone else to do it for me. I always wanted to learn how to do it myself.
yeah. That's something that I've noticed about you is that whenever we talk, whether like I'm asking you about NFTs or even though you have people who are researching on NFTs and cryptos and everything, I have a feeling that you're always on like top of every aspect. I have another friend uh, he's from Nigeria, and he has like a few businesses like a body shop, a garage,
Right.
and we like to say that he knows where all the nuts and bolts are in his business, even though he has like several people working. He
Yeah.
always tracks every single nut and he
Yeah.
knows what's going on. So is it like something that you learn in the Marines, the discipline?
No, I mean it's more of I think it's a basic quality called care.
Yeah,
And, for things that are important to you, you have to care about them.
yeah,
And so, a lot of owners or a lot of people that become CEOs, they want to delegate and they want to leverage everyone else around them.
Yeah.
Before you can leverage and before you can, delegate,
Yeah.
to me, you got to specialize. And, if I say I know crypto, I need to know all aspects of crypto, and I need to study it, and I need to love it, and I need to care about it. And so for me, it is just, I don't have a lot of hobbies. I don't watch sports or anything like that. I watch the markets, all the markets, what's happening in trading. That's my passion and that's my love. And so, of course, I'm going to know, I'm going to study. And even when you give me information, I'm going to go investigate because, I feel it's my responsibility to make sure that I'm giving out or taking smart financial decisions with my money. And also I'm giving out good information.
Okay. So is it that you are you selective about the information that you consume every day? Do you like block out certain, like people like to go on YouTube or watch Netflix or watch or look at the news?
No, I mean, so the mastermind, the actual community that we've built, we bring so many people together that whatever they're talking about,
Yeah,
those are clues to go look into it and to investigate more. So, I think being surrounded by smart people and smart traders is a number one asset of what you can do, because on YouTube or Twitter or other places,
yes,
you don't know them. You don't know what they're looking at. You don't know what they're investigating. You don't know who's paying them. So I think being in the environment that we're in is the best way to learn, or at least know what to question.
okay. So how long did you spend in the Marines, and what was your experience with the Marines?
I spent 4.5 years. I went 4.5 years in the Marines, and it was probably the best decision of my life because it got me into a new environment. Like I said, I grew up in Oakland, the inner city.
Yeah.
I had opportunity to go to college, but I wanted it to explore the world. And so the Marine Corps, it got me outside of that. To me, it got me outside of a comfortable environment,
Yes.
uncomfortable place. And it took me around the world, and I got to see that, people, I got to understand people globally, not just in America. And that was a eye-opening experience. So I'm always grateful for my time in the Marines because it gave me a different experience that a lot of people don't get to experience.
And you said you were posted in several bases in Korea.
Korea, Okinawa, Japan, and I was in a helicopter squad. I was CH-53s, which are
The Chinooks.
no, these are the
No.
big stallions.
Okay. Which ones? Oh, the Sea Stallions.
Yeah, sea
Okay.
stallions. So we call them the workhorses.
Yes.
And so we got to fly around. I actually flew from Japan to Korea in a helicopter, which was a scary experience going over sea for that long and aerial
Yes.
refueling.
Did you ever get a chance to work with like ever visit one of the carriers?
The carry. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, our unit was assigned to the Boxer. It's retired now, but
Yeah.
when I actually went in, they were coming back from Iraq during Desert Storm. So, and the Boxer was our carrier transport.
The Kitty Hawk. Or
Not a Boxer.
oh,
It was
okay.
USS Boxer.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I always wanted to be on a carrier, but I never got the chance. Like I've been on them on video games, like in the VR, but I've never had like waking up early in the morning and you're just surrounded by the sea and you have like
Right.
planes. I think that's just pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll pass on that type of vacation. I went to I take a cruise to Mexico, and it reminded me of being in the military. And I was like, I'll never take another cruise. I'd rather fly there.
It's pretty cool. And what other places did you visit other than the
I mean,
Okinawa and Korea?
I mean, we traveled a lot. I mean, I took vacations, but I mean, I was stationed in Mississippi. I lived in Mississippi for 6 months. That's where I went to school. San Diego was Marine combat training. We did a lot in Yuma, in Arizona. I don't know. Hey, I'm getting old. You're dating me. I had to remember back, but yeah, we moved around.
Okay.
All right.
And what would you say is like your fondest memory of the Marines? Like some of the best experience that you still remember?
I mean, we had a lot of. I was always lived on the edge. I mean, we had a lot of fun times, but I remember being in the barracks, and it was a typhoon going on in Okinawa.
Yes.
And we had guys that the wind is so crazy, and in the Marines we like to drink. We were barbecuing or having a picnic out in the rain, and some of the guys wanted to go on top of the floor and take a sheet and jump out the window so the wind can take them like a parachute. And we had one guy that jumped out, man, and we just see a guy flying across the sky with a bed sheet and fly right into a wall.
Like a glider that, yeah.
Yeah, he glided. So it just I mean, those are kind of like I mean, imagine just drinking for, we'll be locked up for like 5 or 6 days and out of our minds, getting bored, stir crazy, couldn't go out, couldn't go anywhere. And then you start seeing guys just jump off the roof with bed sheets. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
It's fun though.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah.
So moving on from the military, from the Marines, I saw you post some things about like you said you went to college,
Yeah.
and I saw you posting about a lot of things about accounting and taxation. And you said you're one of few people who have a certification in crypto tax. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
I mean, I can tell you some real stuff about life in general, especially with the IRS. But one of the experiences I had, yeah, I went to college. I went to Long Beach State. When I got out the Marine Corps, I went to Long Beach State and DeVry. I got a computer science degree. I mean, that's kind of, I was doing computers inside the Marines. When I got out, I just got a degree. But my experience is as an entrepreneur, I started a real estate company, and I had it for about 4 or 5 years, and I was in Arizona. And when the market crashed in 2009, a lot of the guys that I hired as 1099 contractors filed for unemployment. And so it was the worst experience ever to have the IRS says, hey, you owe back taxes on employees. And I was like, I didn't have any employees. And so, as we're going back and forth about the business that, I actually shut the business down because it was the short sale was taking too long, and I never wanted to be an owner. My thing was I tried to create opportunities for other guys because I was getting so many leads as a real estate investor. And so I had so many properties that I started opening up a real estate company to give the leads away to realtors and created opportunities. And when I had the opportunity to shut it down, I shut it down. But during that time, there's a lot of people that, filed unemployment. Come down 3 years later, I go to the bank and all of a sudden my accounts are frozen, right? The IRS had frozen my accounts because I didn't respond fast enough.
Yes.
And so they froze my assets and I had big IRS issues. And of course, I fought the IRS, and while I'm fighting them, they're freezing accounts. And eventually we got it all resolved. But that's one of the real reasons I jumped into crypto is because I didn't want my money to ever be tied up again. Like, it was like, well, what do I do about my kids and private school and things that I had my kids is like, well, they freeze your accounts. What would you do? And so, crypto was really attractive, but since I've been in, crypto so long, a lot of people get into crypto thinking that they don't have to pay taxes. And so for me, it was like, this is going to be a big problem. I know how the IRS works. I know what happens when they come after you.
Yeah.
And so for my thing, it was like, you can't operate in America and think that you're not going to pay taxes. And so I went in and got into tax. I actually, partner with the IRS. I'm able to, I call it crypto tax certification as an instructor. We had a class. I partnered with Mark Kohler, who was a tax attorney, and took a certification that was approved by the IRS.
Could you give us like a quick rundown for those who don't know about this crypto tax certification?
So when you go through the IRS and you submit a course, there's not a lot of courses that get approved by the IRS as a approved course. And then there's not a lot of people that can partner with the IRS to actually offering banking products and services that, when you get your money, when you file for taxes or your tax refund and it deposits directly into your bank account, that is someone who's offering you a bank product. And also there's not courses, because that crypto is so new. There's not a lot of crypto courses that are approved, and there's not many people qualified to teach the approved courses. I have both those certifications, which allows me to teach, tax courses, that the IRS offers, and there's not a lot of products out there for crypto. The one course that is approved, partner with and help, fix the text and kind of work with it. And so that gives me just a little bit of insight and a little bit of head start, but it's just showing that I'm proactive in trying to get ahead of all the tax problems that I see coming for the average person.
Okay.
And I'm not a enrolled agent. I'm not a CPA. As a disclaimer, I'm just an instructor that's able to help people get into the tax business.
Okay. So that's bringing me to crypto taxation. So what would be your advice to somebody who's like a Web2 accountant and they're trying to transition into Web3, or not just even just an accountant, but like anybody who's like who's been in the Web2 space as a marketer, as a trader, like trading stocks? What would be your advice for somebody who's like, who wants to start into a career in Web3?
I mean, Web3 is different than taxation, and taxation is just a process. So financially, Web3 is technology. So, taking courses that's on Web3, the more you know and the more experience you have is the best head start you can get. Reading a bunch of books and not having a project, to me, it is starting, maybe taking an internship into Web3 projects and to start working with them, right? Because you have to gain the experience, and the experience becomes valuable as more companies are going to transition. If you're a tax professional or CPA, join a mastermind or join a environment that's focused on crypto, because it's going to impact your business.
Yes.
So to me, it's surrounding yourself in the environment. If I wanted to learn Spanish, the fastest way to do it is go move to Mexico and be around Spanish speakers 24/7. Same thing with crypto, join a community, getting involved and offer your services.
I have a question here. It's just a random question that somebody asked, one of your secret admirers. It says, what do you see as the future of society will look like in 20 years when it comes to blockchain integration into the modern Web2 environments?
To be honest, I think the future looks like the thing you can imagine. I think we'll walk in stores, we'll get iris scans, we'll basically have a national or digital account.
Yes.
I think a good movie to watch is Time, where guys have chips, in them, and it's, they accumulate, debt, accumulating credit. And I think we'll be able to walk in the store and walk out, and digitally, we will have a account debited.
Is it like so is it like the movie in which they have this digital watch and they can see how much time they have left, and then they have to earn more?
Yeah, I mean, the future is going to look, to me, that's what the future is going to look like. A lot is going to be automated.
Yeah.
I think the rich and the poor is going to, the gap is going to widen. I think the future is about resources. Whoever controls the resources is going to control the people. I kind of believe in a lot of the conspiracy, so I don't know if I'm the right person to ask, but in 20 years, I don't think it'll look like it is today. In 2020, nobody would imagine that we would be on lockdown and not be able to leave.
Yeah.
right? And I think, in 2040, I think, money will look totally different. Currency will look totally different. Crypto, digital assets, digital cash, that'll be a big part of society.
What do you feel about this? Like you said that when you had that issue with the IRS and they froze your accounts and then you moved to crypto because it's more decentralized. Um, but what do you think about the future of decentralization? Because in NFTs, we saw that one of the biggest sticking points of the community is that a lot of people were being scammed, and this kept a lot of people away from NFTs because they saw there's something that it's a new and
I think humans are going to be humans. It wasn't crypto that was scamming people. It was people that was
yeah,
scamming people, right?
yeah,
And I think no matter what, you still have bad people out
yes,
there. And you also have a lot of people that want someone to protect them.
yeah,
So, it is hard for crypto to become mainstream, especially decentralized, because people don't want the responsibility. At the end of
yeah,
the day, nobody wants to really have ownership. Nobody really wants to be responsible.
yeah.
Because if you are, you wouldn't trust, bad actors. And inside the crypto community, inside of financial world, people have been programmed and conditioned to trust other people with their money. Whereas in our environment, we don't believe in trusting others. We believe in taking ownership.
Yeah.
And that's a big paradigm shift for a lot of people.
So on the one end, we have these banks and institutions that they control everything and they can abuse power if they're given too much power. And on the other end, we have like a total decentralization in which
I
there's
don't
no,
I don't think this decentralization will ever work because you don't have the majority that wants ownership.
yes,
The majority wants to be protected. The same way with guns, right?
yeah,
I mean, the majority of people prefer not to defend themselves. They
yes,
prefer to call and get help.
yes,
And so until we have 100% compliance of, hey, we're responsible for ourselves,
yes,
I don't think that's going to happen. I think the government, I think banking, they'll always have a place because people, we may want decentralization.
yes,
Majority wants centralization.
yeah. So most of the people they're looking for more security.
They trade their freedom in for comfort,
Yes.
right? They want to
And
be comfortable. A lot of people want to be comfortable.
so you think that people who want to be more self-reliant and people who want more freedom, do you think it's like there's a growing trend towards that, or is it always going to be like a niche audience
Uh,
of people?
no, I think at the end of the day, I mean, people want freedom
Yeah,
until it becomes inconvenient or until they are taken advantage of,
yeah,
right? And then they want help. They want to go. I mean, like, that's the natural, of course, if you want freedom, you have to take the bad that comes with it. And most people only want the good.
yeah, yeah. With freedom, I guess it's like it's a little bit more risky step too for people because when I was going through university, and this was like in the early 2010s, like 2012, 2013, we had people like Tim Ferriss and
Right.
this,
4 hour work week.
yeah. And I feel like that's also kind of like an extreme for freedom. We still need to we have more, I don't know how to say it, responsibility. Like for even for freedom, you have to give up a few things.
I mean, you got to think about trading, entrepreneurship. It's not easy. It's
Yeah,
it's more difficult. It's easy to go to a job.
yeah,
For me, the easiest time I had was in the Marine Corps.
yeah,
They told you everything you need to do. Make up
yeah,
your bed. Sweep the floor.
yeah,
Be here at this time. Like you had a plan laid out for you every day, and that's not hard to follow if you just discipline and you follow the plan. You can listen.
yeah,
But when you're an entrepreneur and when you're a trader, you have to take initiative and you have
yeah,
to think. And sometimes it's unlimited amount that you can work. So entrepreneur and trading for majority of people, it is hard.
yeah.
It's easy to go to work.
And you just, it's like you don't think, you just do, and that's what they tell you in the military too.
Right. I mean, in your job as well. Once you
Yeah,
learn the job, right? Most jobs is just, hey, do what we tell you.
yeah. And I remember myself like last year around November, I got injured in a car accident, and then I couldn't go to work. And from in a job, like when you're graduating, you're making what, like 40, $50,000 a year. And then I started researching on crypto, on NFTs. And just in like a month, in the month of January, I made a profit of like 20,000. I'm like, holy shit.
Right.
I mean, I got lucky. Like I kind of overestimated my abilities because we were in an NFT bull market. But and then the reality started to kick in February and in March because I had to see that, okay, I need to stay on top of the market. I need to do more research. This is like I need to put more work into it. And one of the things that I realized in those times when it was getting a little bit more challenging, because January was very, very easy. Like everything that you
Right.
buy, it's gonna go 5x, 10x. And one of the things that I realized was, and what I started to do was I started doing these daily calls with other people that I knew in the space, that we
Right.
would get together, we would share all the information that we have, and then we would collectively make a decision. But I didn't know that this was a thing before I started with the DCG. I didn't know what masterminds are. Could you
Right.
tell us a little bit about like what masterminds are and how they work?
So it is a like-minded group of people that have they're a collective that have the same ambitions, the same goals, and they leverage each other by sharing the information. And so masterminds is designed for when two people come together, they create a third mind that has infinite possibilities, meaning that, you know, two people, three people talking about a subject, you know, it's oversight that you're going to cover and you're going to fill in the blanks for each other. And so the more people that you have participating in a mastermind that are collaborating and sharing the information, most people lose alone and, you know, they lose individually, but
Yeah,
a lot of people win together.
yeah,
And so inside our trading mastermind, it is for all traders, regardless if they're stocks and options or Forex or crypto or NFTs. You know, we want to collaborate. And so this way traders can take advantage of any market at any time because the information, it's hard to cover all the information by yourself. But collaborate, you know, when we collaborate, now we're getting different sources. Now we have, instead of having two eyeballs in your livelihood, depending on your two eyeballs, your two ears, now you have 200 eyeballs and you have 200 ears and you have input from all over. And when you all agree on something, it's normally a money play.
yeah.
Like everybody wins.
Yeah, that's what I realized when it was like when things were getting more and more tough, we naturally came together, and instead of making decisions individually, we started to do it like as a group. So everybody would bring in their research and then we would go through the projects individually and then
Right.
see what is the best decision to make. And even if we are losing money as a group, it doesn't hurt as bad as when you're losing money
By yourself.
individually.
Right.
Yeah,
Because then you get the reality that you're not a bad trader. It's
yeah,
just that this fooled everybody.
yeah,
Right. It was a scam that hurt everybody because some people think, oh, I just keep getting the scams or, you know, this every time I buy something goes down
yeah,
and you're by yourself. So of course that negative self-talk perpetuates more negative self-talk.
yeah.
Well, when you have some wins and you realize, oh damn, you know, the win was right here in front of me
Yeah.
and we could have bought it, I need to pay more attention now.
Yeah, and that's what kind of got me into like these to form these groups, was because I had a lot of these opportunities and I didn't follow on them because I feel like I didn't have enough research. And then one person can only do so much research in a day. But if
Right.
you have like more people and you have like more research to make decisions on, then you're putting yourself in a better position to make better decisions.
Right.
Yeah. How much time do we have? Because I have a few more
I know it's
questions
all
to go.
good. I just went to the gym and I'm super dehydrated.
Yeah, so yeah, drink water. Let's take a short water break.
So you got the healthy stuff.
Yeah,
You got some
water is the best drink. What do you have?
unsweetened tea, water.
Water. I'm trying to avoid sugars.
Yeah, yeah. Unsweetened,
I'll have a little bit before the gym so that I burn it off during the gym, but like natural sugars, honey, fruits,
yeah,
things like that.
yeah. No sugar for me. No fruit. No any kind of sugar. So that's an unsweetened natural tea. No sugar as well.
Yeah. I'm interested in that too because I saw you posting about a lot of about like nutrition and working
Right.
out stuff, but we will get into that later. We were just getting into the mastermind stuff,
Okay.
and you did touch a little bit on trading, so I want to get more into how your journey came into like forming a mastermind, like what made you move
Right.
towards.
Well,
Um, but
so
before we get into that, I have like one more question that kind of like touches from somebody in the mastermind, and they asked about what's the hardest period that you have in your Web3 journey so far? Like, was it a big trading loss? Was it a bear market? Was it somebody rugging you? And how did
um,
you overcome that?
yeah, I mean, I think the biggest losses I've had is when I've been overconfident. This is going to make it. This is going to make a lot of money, and you're going too big. I mean, I expect to lose in the markets, but you know, I try to minimize the losses because we all experience the losses. And so for me, I think the hardest experience has just been trading small. You know, when you see other guys win a lot and you're not trading as small because of your risk management, you know, for me, I had to take care of my family. So I said that, you know, I had to trade like my life depended on it, especially when my accounts were frozen, right? When I had a business and IRS froze my accounts, I couldn't afford to lose in trading. I had to make it happen. And so, you know, for me, even when I first got into crypto in 2016, I was trading and I could have held a lot of that Bitcoin. I could have held a lot of Ethereum. You know, Ethereum
Yeah.
was like $2. ETC was like 30 cents. You know, I missed out on a lot of the opportunities by trading. And so to me, that's my biggest loss is missed opportunities. You know, I bought Bored Apes, but I only bought one when I could have bought 5 of them.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you know, I missed out on a lot of opportunities in this space by risk management, but I've also been able to stay around because of risk management. So, I mean, that's kind of the gift and the curse of, you know, managing your account is sometimes you're over cautious, right? And you will
Yeah.
miss opportunities. But the goal for me was to stay in the game and feed my family and had a freedom. And
Yeah.
so that has kind of been my, that's been my mindset is I'm going to run my own race.
Yeah. So your biggest challenge is
It's
missed opportunities.
missed opportunities, not taking advantage of and not going in super heavy when I
Yeah.
have the opportunities, when I kind of know the market,
Yeah.
just because I don't want to get wiped out.
But then on the other side, you also have that when you have liquidity and then you stretch yourself so much that when a better opportunity shows up, you're like already over invested in the market. So there has to be some kind of like a balance in the middle.
No, I mean, you're saying what for me? For me, I don't have that problem with the liquidity. I'm able to buy whatever I want because I'm not trading big,
Yeah.
right? So I'm able to take advantage of it, but I may not go in heavy, and that's the missed opportunity.
So you will have enough pawns on the chessboard that you can make moves whenever you see the move.
Whatever I can see, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I could, I always have something to liquidate.
Okay. Um, so we can move back to before what we talked about when you saw the need to have this collective group of people where you share information. Was it like some kind of like a challenge that you faced on your trading journey that you saw the need for
Um,
something like this?
yeah, I mean, when I was trading alone, I learned, I started off as a swing trader.
Yeah.
And then I got into day trading because oh man, the money I'm making as a swing trader, maybe imagine if I did this every day,
Yeah.
right? Imagine if I was able to make 50,000 or 60,000 every day. And so I got into the day trading hype and I realized that there were a bunch of groups that they were just hoping, like Timothy Sykes, he had a day trading group. I joined, I paid like $300-400 a month.
Yeah.
But the people that were there, they already had jobs and it was full of just hype.
Yeah.
It was full of pump and dumps. And to me, I stopped trading. I stopped using social media in general, and I started just trading based on my own knowledge. And I was doing really well trading by myself, but I was missing opportunities. And when I started getting into crypto,
Yeah.
I realized that there wasn't, there were pump groups and there's people trying to sell you MLMs and all,
Yeah.
and then a lot of people lost
Yeah.
MLMs, and I was like, hey, these people really need to really learn how to trade.
Yeah.
And so I was respected in a lot of crypto groups because I was actually a real trader. And they were like, hey, come over here and can you show us how to read the charts, and can you show us like, some trading tips.
Okay. And where is it's on the timeline? Like when did you start, and how
2016,
long does it take to get to this point?
2016, people started asking me like, hey man, can you join my group? Can you like spit some knowledge? And they were charging for their groups and I wasn't charging anything. But I was like, hey bro, like you sign up all these people and they're joining your group, but you're not teaching them what they really need to know. And he was like, hey, well, I just want to send you all the advanced people. I'll get them started and I'll send you the advanced people. And then one weekend I was like, hey, if anybody wants to learn how to trade crypto, I want to start teaching. And that first weekend I had 100 people sign up, and it was just off of a offer. And I was like, damn, I'm not a teacher though. Like I'm not a teacher. I didn't intend to teach. I thought I was gonna have like maybe 10 people join.
Yeah.
And so when they joined, I was like, you know what? I think the mastermind principle is gonna work a lot better than
One person teaching.
Right. And I was like, this way, because this market moves too fast.
Yeah.
I will write an ebook, and then 3 months later, it's totally obsolete. So
Yeah.
it's like you can't film videos and ebooks. We need something that's going to be current. And that's how I came up with the mastermind principle. And then I had guys that were like, hey, I can't, for me, I was already successful. So when I first started, I was like, it's either 12,000 or 6,000 to join me, where I had a lot of people joining me, but they were already well off. And then my guy was like, well, hey, someone said, hey, you're not helping the regular people. And I was like, what do you mean? And it was like, well, you're not giving back. So I created the 7-day challenge, and so I would make this free. And then I realized that even when they went through the free course, they were like, well, hey, how do we join you? And the price point was too high. And that is when I lowered the price. But then the guys that wanted to work with me directly, I said, hey, I will personally train you, but give me 4 hours of your time every month. And that is how, the guys that I taught started teaching others.
And how did this whole like the DCG like fall into place? So you started off
It always started off as a mastermind.
it started off as a mastermind, and then because there's a lot of moving pieces inside of the DCG. There's different classes, there's different challenges.
Well, I started off as a crypto, but I knew stocks and options. I didn't want to be known as just a crypto trader. Like I can trade anything. And I started off with stocks, options, ETFs, and futures. And so for me, it was like, the crypto was fine, but what happens when the market kind of goes down? You want to take advantage of other markets. So I wanted a place for traders to be around other real traders.
Okay. So, and then you said that you started teaching from 2016. So by that time you were already like an established trader, like
I was already an established trader. I had worked at a hedge fund, worked at different prop firms. I was already, from 2013, I was already trading in professional settings.
And then prior to 2013, so if we draw a line between when you left the Marines, you joined the college, and then
I was an entrepreneur, man. I was a millionaire after I got out of the Marine Corps. Because when I got out, I had a tech job, and I started buying real estate. And so when I moved to Arizona, I was doing a lot of real estate. I had owned over 20 houses. I was already a successful person. I started having coaches. And when the market started turning, I asked them what they were doing, and they were trading. They were putting money from the real estate market into the stock market at its lows.
But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean that is what I was doing from 2009. Swing trading, putting money in the market, and I owned 2 companies while I was doing real estate. I owned a marketing company and I owned a real estate company.
Okay. So you started with swing trading in 2009, and then you went into day trading
Around 2013 or 14.
2013, 14.
My accounts got frozen.
Okay. But you were swing trading in 2009. When was the moment like you would identify, like you would say, hey, this is what I want to do, like this is like I want to.
When the market crashed, I didn't want to work for any more people. I didn't want to deal with any more businesses. I wanted to take I became selfish. It's like, you know what? I can do all this shit by myself without no office, without no people.
Yes.
I can make money in the markets.
Okay. And where are we now with DCG? Like,
So
If you,
DCG now, when it first started, it was almost like I made an invite to my friends,
yes,
and then I tried to, partner with people. I tried to like help other groups, but I realized that the decentralization model
yeah,
doesn't really work as well as somebody has to be leading the ship, right? And for me, it was a vision that I had that, you know, we should all be helping each other. We should all be, trading together. And when your vision starts, allowing other people to kind of interfere with the vision, you have to take control over it again. And so the mastermind, we had to take a step back because I wanted to put a better platform together. I wanted to, offer more to the people that's inside the mastermind. And so I shook up a lot of things that we were doing that was disorganized, and I got it more organized and more focused on, hey, here's the vision and here's, the people we want to contribute. And also, we needed a base. 7-day challenge was good, but we needed a base. And so we're establishing a DCG trade school, which is going to be a prerequisite for the mastermind. So you're not going to be able to get into the mastermind in the future without going through the trade school, because we want you to know the basics. A lot of guys get into the mastermind, they go straight after the money,
yeah,
but they don't really know how the basics, the NFT market, the basics of the crypto market, the basics of stocks and options.
yeah.
They should have a basic foundation, and if not, they're going to be lost because you have so many smart traders already inside the mastermind.
Yeah. So it's like a process, because a lot of people in our generations, they're kind of like in previously used to be like the Pareto rule, like 20-80.
Right.
Now it's like 95-5. Like everything is moving very quickly. People
Move
want
very
to,
quick.
yeah. And then people's mindsets are also like kind of changing. Like it's like um before, if you wanted food, we go and hunt, and then we skin the deer, and then we cook, and then that's how we eat. Now people order on Uber Eats and DoorDash. They want everything quickly. Like if they want to date somebody, they don't want to learn social skills. They just want to go on Tinder. And if they want to
Right.
make money with NFTs and crypto, they just want to buy. People message me like, "Hey, what should I buy?" It's like they don't want to learn how to trade it. They just want to. They want you to catch the fish and hand it to them as quickly as you can. But I was trying to, like, with the timeline, I'm trying to see how long it got you to get from point A to point B. It's not like Jamar James just got off on the and then he set up a trading group. Because this whole journey
Right.
behind it. There's a whole process and the mindset.
I mean, it's been a whole journey. And I think the mindset is that, we all can be successful, but you got to get the right people in.
Yeah.
There's so many people selling quick solutions, and, people are believing that their life is going to change by paying $50,
Yeah.
a month, and they're getting signals. You really have to learn the foundation. And that's where I'm really passionate about, is that, I want guys that want real freedom and independence, and you can't have that unless you really know and dedicate your life
Yeah.
to understanding the information.
Okay. So let's take a walk from Jamar James' mind. Like let's suppose we have somebody, they're just starting out, they don't have any experience in crypto. Doesn't have to be crypto, like could be anything that they want to do with their life.
Okay. And so,
Like where does that person start? Like how would you approach this? Like it's not
so
something that you would just buy
right.
and yeah,
So anything that I do, I learned when I joined the Marine Corps,
yeah,
is that I have to immerse myself in the environment. So the first thing that I would do is I would join a community. Like if I wanted to be a doctor,
yeah,
I would go join a doctor group, a meetup, right? If I wanted to be a basketball player, I'm gonna go start training where all the pro basketball players train.
yeah,
It is, if I wanted to be a trader, if I wanted to be around crypto guys, I'm gonna go be around them, because they're gonna teach me things that, hey, maybe you don't need to learn this. Maybe you don't need to spend your time learning this aspect. Maybe you need to learn this, right? And you
yeah,
need to learn this part first. So, knowing what strategies they use, what they do, how their family operates. I've always done business coaching. I've always got a business coach. I've always had mentor. or mentoring, because you learn so much more from people's experience.
Yeah.
So that is, to me, the first thing, no matter what you tackle, I need to be in the environment. So I don't have to get my information from one person. I can get my information from 10.
Yeah.
That is why we created the mastermind. So even though, it was my vision, if you don't trust me or you don't like me, you still can learn from someone else inside the mastermind. So now you can compare, and now you can make the best decision possible. How can you make the best decision possible if you only get your information from one source?
Yeah.
Right. And if I say that, hey, I don't have to trust anyone. Crypto is about a non-trustless society where it's like, it's peer-to-peer. Everything we can see on a blockchain is transparent. So you want to see your traders really trading. You want to see the person teaching you really trading. You want to see them buying things, right? You want to see them actually teaching and then actually doing it himself. I believe that everyone should, like, you got to do it yourself first.
Yeah.
And that is something I believe, is that, everything that I teach or I do, they're going to see me do it first.
So the first step is you surround yourself with the right community.
100%.
And then you find somebody who is where you want to be. And
you ask the questions, the type of questions determine your quality of life. So you ask as many questions as possible for things you don't understand.
Yes.
Build on that.
That's very interesting, because that's something very similar to what my dad said. He's like, your quality of life, your success, it depends on the quality of question and the uncomfortable questions that you ask.
Right. I mean, if you ask shit questions, you get shit answers, and it's no good. So,
Yeah.
Ask real questions that is going to propel you forward, and then be in a room where people can answer those questions.
Yeah. And I've also seen that with like successful people, is that they always like it when people come and ask them questions about.
Yeah, because it gives them a time to reinforce what they know.
Yeah.
I became a better trader when I became a better teacher. When I became a teacher, when I started teaching other people, I became a better trader because they had to reinforce. I had to believe in the things I was teaching.
Yes. And even when I was in college, like I had first-hand experience with that. Like the courses that I was tutoring other kids, I would do very well in those specific courses, because I think that's one of the best ways to learn, is to teach
Right,
others.
and then the questions you got made you a better teacher.
Yes.
And you also learn more by people asking you questions.
Yes, because sometimes they ask me questions that I didn't even like. I don't know the answer to that myself, and I have to go and learn it because I have to teach this person.
Right.
So like I have more pressure to get better because people are relying on me.
Right.
Yeah.
And that, and so, that makes me a more responsible person when I have people relying on me.
Yes. But a lot of people get intimidated, but like they get intimidated from like asking questions from successful people, because they're like, oh, this person is super busy. But that's not what I've experienced.
It's their ego holding them back.
Yes.
Right. That's ego and pride that's stopping them from getting to where they want to go.
Yes.
And that's why so many traders lose, because they have ego and pride.
Yes.
And they lose based on internal things, not even external things that's happening in the market.
And that's and following up with what you said about learning from people with experience. And I've had an experience with this. Like when I talk to people, when I tell them like, hey, if you want to learn to trade, or if you want to learn how to be a better husband or a boyfriend or a better father, there are people out there who specialize in these specific topics that, okay, you can Google it and then you can learn it on your own, and then it will take you a few years. But then there are people who have specialized in this and they've dedicated their lives to this specific topic. Like you can save all those years, because time is money. So if I want to get better in the gym, if I want to get stronger, I'll go and hire a coach, a personal trainer to get better. And
you can watch YouTube, right?
Yeah.
But it's something about paying for specialized help that shows that you're motivated. So a lot of times you pay for yourself because you want to get expedited results.
Yes.
And people overlook that. They overlook a lot of people overlook the value. They don't want to value anyone else.
Yeah.
They want themselves, so they waste a lot of time.
I've seen like that. It's like one of the main things that hold people back, is that it's like their ego. They don't value other people's experience. They're more like self-centered on them. and then you have like you're surrounded by these people, not you specifically, but like I'm talking about the average person. Like, you have this family and friends. You're like, don't waste money on that. Like, don't buy training.
Right.
Don't go to the school. Like, you can just go Google it and you can YouTube it.
That's why I say that your environment matters, because
Yes.
I've seen a lot of people in jail. They listen to the other inmates of what they need to do and what they need to tell their lawyer, and they're in fucking jail with them. Right.
Yeah.
So if you're taking advice for a person that never bought crypto
Yeah.
or is not in the crypto market, and that's your advisors,
Yes.
what kind of sense does that make?
Yeah.
It
That's what
doesn't.
they say, that don't ask for relationship advice from people who don't already have a good relationship with their spouse.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You know, you never heard a, you never see a rich person taking advice from a poor person on money,
Yeah.
right? But poor people always got an opinion on what the rich people should spend their money on,
Yeah.
right? Oh man, he's wasting the money on a yacht. He's wasting the money on jewelry. It's like,
Yeah. He wasted money on a picture of an ape.
right, he's rich, right? And the poor person will tell the rich person what to spend money on.
Yeah. And then you can rent out that yacht, and it's
Right.
like an asset. Like when you're buying spending money on shoes and stuff, it's a liability. But unless it's a collectible too, and then you can sell it for more money. And a lot of these people who are driving Lamborghinis, they can not only can they rent out these cars, but the way this Lamborghinis devalue, it's not the same as a normal car. Like, you can
Right.
even sell it for more money. Like, you're literally getting paid to drive
Right.
these cars.
Yeah, but they wouldn't know that, right? Because
Yeah.
they've never bought a Lambo. They've only
Yes.
talked about other people that had it.
Yes. That's also a mindset thing. Like, sometimes when they see somebody driving a nice car, people don't think like, oh, he worked hard for this, like he deserved it, and like maybe I should go and talk to him and see what he does, and maybe I can learn something from him. People automatically think, oh, he maybe did some kind of corruption, or he stole it, or whatever.
Yeah, that's a bad money mindset,
Yeah.
because they don't have it, so they have to justify why they don't have it. And so to justify it is to say, hey, this guy did something bad,
Yeah.
or he's not happy, or other things that will make themselves feel good about not having it.
Yeah.
And that happens all the time.
Yeah, it's like a kind of like a negative
It's
mindset, like
it's vibrating on low frequency.
low frequency. Yeah, it's like this is something that I learned when I was in the debate school in my university. Is that when I just started off and I was a newbie, like when I started doing debating, I saw everybody as like somebody who's like against me, right? Everybody's like an adversary or whatever. But then later on, when I started getting better and better at debate, it was more like everybody in this room is on my team. Like, we're all in this journey together. We're all trying to get better together. It's not like he is against me. Like, we're just practicing against each other
Right.
to get better. And because we're working towards the same goal. It's not about winning or losing. It's about being better than we were yesterday. So we're not against the other person. We're against ourselves, how we were yesterday. So that person driving a Lamborghini, instead of like thinking of him as something that's negative, we're also trying to get better. So maybe we can learn something from that person.
Right. So everybody that talks about a person that has a Lambo, they probably should join the Lambo club.
Yes.
Right? Just to be around the owners to see what they know that they don't.
Yes. So I want to move on to something more lighter, but before that, we can close off with the trading. And because you are a seasoned trader yourself, I wanted to ask, like, what do you think makes a good trader?
The ability to say no, the ability to not gamble and jump in trades that you don't feel confident about. Understanding your strengths and weaknesses will make you a better trader in life. A lot of traders, they open up and they can't close. They can't sell. They get stuck in wanting to be right instead of being profitable. So I think it's the plan. What plan do you have when you get in? People don't plan in life. I can walk in a room full of 10 people, and only maybe one or two will have their goals in their pocket, right? Most people don't have a plan. They are influenced by others. So what makes a good trader or a great trader is having a plan for themselves. not based on somebody else's plan, but their own plan. You know, take what you can get from others, and you know you have to implement your own plan that's custom for your needs. But a lot of people, they take other people's plan and try to run with it.
Not having a plan. If we can go down a little bit deeper into that, do you think it's like a lot of people win or lose because of their ability to control their emotions?
No, I mean they win or lose because their ability to listen to others. They're influenced by others more than they are influenced themselves.
Yes.
Like, it's like someone that asks you, "Hey, I'm hungry," and then they say, "Well, hey, what are you gonna eat?" Like, what does it matter what I'm gonna eat? Like, you're hungry. What do you want?
Yeah.
Right? What do you want? You know, what is it that you want out of it? And I think that's where people mess up. It's like last night we were trading inside the mastermind, and some guys, it's gonna go down, it's coming back low. It's like, I'm present right now. I see the market moving up. I get in, right? Because that's my plan. It is to be present and to take advantage of what's happening in the market right now. Not thinking about the past, not thinking about the future. The last time it hit resistance here, it's like right now the market is moving,
Yeah.
and I'm going to take advantage of it right now. That's my plan, right? And so that is understanding who you are and what you're capable of. You know, a lot of people say, "Hey, well, how much money did you trade?" It doesn't matter. How much money do you have, right? Because you got to trade your account. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if I did 10,000 or 20,000. You have to trade your account. How much money do you have? You can't risk your whole thing on the same trade that I just taken because you're in a different situation.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're benching 200 pounds. It's like, how much are you benching?
How much can I lift?
Yeah.
I did a rep 45s 12 times. That's my limit right now.
Yeah.
I'm working my way up to your limit. You're doing 345s. You're stronger.
Yeah.
Like, you're better, but here I'm maxing out what I can do today.
Yeah. So it's like we're on our own journey. Like, it's not like we're not fighting with we're not competing with each other.
In life, we're all on our own journey.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get better. But if a person is comparing themselves against someone else, they'll never get better because they're measuring sticks, or they'll limit themselves. Because now you're comparing yourself against someone else.
Yeah.
You put 10 years in, you put 2 months. How can you compare yourself against that?
Yeah.
All right. I'm giving you too many gems over here.
Okay. We should put us behind a paywall. So let's move on to your favorite topic, family and relationships. And we touched on the gym just now, so maybe we can start there.
Right.
Advice on because everything we know that everything is connected, like your family life, your relationships, your financials, health and fitness. I used to get a lot of people telling me like, "Hey, why do you work out so much? Like, stop. You don't need a girlfriend. Like, just focus on your studies." Like,
Right. So
I need to balance because. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I mean,
I was just gonna say, I went out with dinner with a few friends a few days ago, and because I have like different types of friends, people who are in relationships, people who are not in relationships, and I kind of like feel the energy that I get off people when I'm like sitting with them, having dinner with them. And on the one side, I have friends who they don't have any long-term relationships. They're just like dating different girls. I can feel a certain energy from them. It's like instability. Like their energy is not balanced. They cannot focus on one thing at a time because they're always jumping from one thing to the next. And then I went out with a group of other friends. They're all in a stable long-term relationships. They all have like a structure to their life. Like they go and they work, and then they work on their business after work, and then they have a specific plan planned out with the spouse. So it just felt like when I was talking to them, their energy is like very, very balanced. They're happy and everything is like planned out for them.
Right.
So how do you like see like all this working out and nutrition, relationships, business, work? How do you see all of this?
Like I say, there's a big there's a big word that people overlook, and it's care. What do you care about? You know, and if I say, you know, my family, I love them, right? Love is something we say to each other. I love you, I love you, I love you. But when you say I care, you're saying that I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to be there to care for you. And so, you know, when I'm in a market and I care about my family, it's going to help me sell, because I don't really care about the market. I care about my family. I really don't care about what people think. I care about the results. And so, you know, the family aspect is that part of my goal. It is to be able to take care of my family. And so a lot of things that I live is based on family, is based on community, the things I care about. I care about the mastermind. I always wanted to make it better. I care about the guys that join me inside the mastermind, because they're under my care, right? I actually care about the guys that come in, and I want them to succeed. I care about my family. You know, I care about myself. So if I care about myself, I got to take care of it at some point, you know. And then if I care about my kids and want to be there for them, I can't do that if I'm living reckless and I'm not taking care of myself. So, you know, that the family and relationships, you know, you can determine how good the relationship is based on by how a person shows you that they care, right? You know, I care when I'm creating a mastermind report, spending my weekends. I'm not just, you know, going in. I'll show up every day at Monday and Wednesday. Like I'm there. I don't like make excuses, right?
Yeah.
That shows the people that are in the group that I care. My family, you know, taking care of myself and making sure that they have food and making sure they're able to do things shows them that I care, but also, you know, want to win. And I have a legacy that I care about. I want my daughters to be like, my dad took care of me. He took care, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times they don't say, well, I want my dad to show that he loves me, or I
Yeah.
want my wife to show that she loves me. Like, you know, the women, their biggest complaint is like, just show me you care. Right. And
Yeah.
that is a big thing where, you know, a lot of men or a lot of people miss out on showing how much they care.
Yeah.
You know, you want to make money in the markets. How do you show that you care? You know, do you
Yeah.
gonna take a trade and go to sleep? Like, oh, I don't care what happens. Or are you gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna put a stop. I care about losing. I want to
Yeah.
make sure I don't lose a lot. So I'm gonna put a stop loss in.
Yeah.
You know, caring about my trade. I'm not gonna just disappear for a day and go to sleep with trades open.
Yeah. It's a beautiful way to put it. I never thought about it that way, because love is such a vague word. I feel like people use it, but there's like sometimes there's no meaning behind it because there's no action behind it.
No action
But
behind it.
yeah, but care is like there's a purpose behind it, like
It's
behind the
ownership.
relationship. Yeah.
It's ownership, right?
Yeah.
You can love multiple people, but it's a conflict when you care about everybody.
Yeah. Because
Some
when
gonna take
I
priority.
sorry.
Some is gonna take priority.
Yes. Because when I was growing up, my dad, because he worked in with the government, he had 3 offices in 3 different cities, and my mom's complaint was that he's never around. But when I grew up to be a man myself, like when I look back at it, I'm like, but my dad was doing everything that was expected of a father. Like we never had to worry about food, about protection, about shelter. Like
Right.
he did, yeah,
But your mom may say that. How did he show he cared about me?
yeah,
Right? Your mom felt neglected,
yes,
right? And she just voiced it to you guys. And then from what you guys cared about is having shit and doing
yeah,
things. And
yeah,
like with dad, I mean, he was able to buy this and do that. And so for you, it satisfies you, but it may not have satisfied the
yes,
mom.
yes,
Because she got married to him before he probably had all that.
yeah,
He got married to him when he was just him and her.
yes,
And over a period of time, how do people in relationships show they care? And this part of the mindset that we have in DCG is like, you know, if you came to get money, but you're not circulating the information, you're not giving back.
yeah,
How do I know you care about being inside the mastermind?
yeah,
You don't care. You came to take, and that's criminal. When
yes,
you need to take and don't give back, it's criminal.
yes.
All right. Let me calm down. Let me calm down.
It's unforgivable You come and take and you don't give back.
Think about, sometimes we give so much and we continue to give and give and give.
Yes.
Eventually you think you're giving and people are going to let, you know what, I got to match the giving, or I got to at
Yes.
least make it fair. When a
Yes.
person doesn't do that and they continue to take,
Yeah.
you stop thinking that that's a regular person. You start thinking that they're a criminal. All
Yeah.
they do is take from me,
Yes.
right? All they do is take. And then it is like, instead of you having love for a person, you start having, it turns into a negative vibe of, this is a criminal person. All he does
Yeah.
is takes.
Yeah.
Even though you gave it to him, the person that's giving them started looking at them different, that now this person is criminal.
That's like it's like a natural human expectation. Like when the relationship is like, has to be give and take. Like even if somebody is trying to network with someone, for example, somebody who's new and they're trying to network with people, if you come and meet somebody with an energy that you're just trying to take,
Right.
it doesn't work. Like you always approach with something to give. Like
So,
you're coming from abundance.
right. It's coming from abundance. But I mean, so say you give someone $100, but you got a billion.
Yeah.
Right. They may not value it the same because they were like, oh, he's just abundant.
Yeah.
Right. But when you don't have a lot and you give,
Yeah.
and then you don't get something back fair in exchange, then you
Yes.
feel cheated. Right.
Yeah.
So there's a delicate thing, but the worst thing is to give, and the person, you realize is that the person you're giving to isn't appreciative.
Yeah.
And then they don't never give back.
Yes. And that's when that's how relationships break down. And that's, I was looking at a statistic about divorces, is that one of those partners feel like they don't feel appreciated for, and that's like the number one cause of divorce, was that they don't feel appreciated for what they do.
Right. Or they have lack of money, which
Yeah.
they feel cheated. They're doing all this and they're still broke. So yeah, it comes down to giving.
Yes.
And showing that you care.
Giving. And then that's I feel like it's an underrated quality, like the mindset of giving.
I mean, most people have never been taught that. So that's why I say, when you come into the mastermind, if you put two minds together,
Yeah.
it should start influencing others, right?
Yeah.
And any goal I have, any dream I have, it should influence the people around me.
Yeah.
In a positive way.
Like even when we were growing up, that's something that we were taught, like, hey, it's just if you give too much, it's, people will see it as a weakness. But, and even when I'm like doing somebody, like in my personal capacity, I'm doing somebody a favor, and I'm like, I'm just doing it because I want to do it. It's not because the giving is like when you're not expecting anything in return.
Right.
It's just, I'm just doing it because I want to do it. And people look at you suspiciously. They're like, oh, what does he want?
Because they think that you want something back from it. And then it either is going to change the dynamics where they want to, hey, help you back, or are they going to, they're going to stay away from you because they feel bad about taking it.
Yeah. And then I have to like go through this whole thing and try to explain the person, like, hey, if when you give someone, it's not like you're not trying to get something out of someone. It's like giving, it's just giving.
That's awesome.
Okay. So what is now that we're on the topic of relationships, what would be the advice that you would give to a young man or a woman in their 20s regarding relationships?
The relationships I would give is, you're bringing either a half a cup, an empty cup, or a full cup to a relationship.
Yes. You
have to determine, what are you bringing to the relationship? Because if you bring a full cup and you're totally content, you're going to have enough juice to share with someone else, enough water, enough to fulfill. So you want to make yourself whole and make yourself, fill your cup up as much as possible, work on yourself. Because when you enter in a relationship with someone else, it's going to challenge you to keep your cup full and to be able to fill someone else's cup. And if you can't fill someone else's cup, you're really not adding value to the relationship. And so you only should get in a relationship when you know you can give, right? Because if you only can take from a relationship, it's not going to work. So when you have things to give and you have things to offer, that's the best time to be in a relationship, because every relationship is give and take.
Yeah.
And the second thing is that everybody can be together when it's good. You got to have conflict, right? And how you guys deal with conflict will allow you to grow in ways that you couldn't imagine.
That makes sense. We've been over an hour, I think. So we can close it out soon. I just have a couple more things that I wanted to ask you. One is a specific question, but before that, I wanted to get your opinion on leadership. What does it mean to you? And could you give us a little breakdown on how you view leadership?
I think everybody has a different leadership style.
Yeah.
Some people like to delegate. Some people like to, create teams. I think everybody has a gift of how to lead, based on their environment, where they came from. And only thing I can say is that my leadership skills and quality is about going first and doing things and using my experiences to show that, hey, this is what I did. Right. And so this way, it's almost a respect level leadership of, I want to do it first and I want to be the example, and you can learn through my experiences. And then leadership is about bringing people together and allowing them to be great, allowing them to, grow. And maybe sometimes they grow closer to you or they grow apart, but leadership is about, the objective. And for me, financial growth, mental growth, those are all things I like to see in people that are following you, because they're following you for a reason. And a lot of times leadership is it's a honor to say that, hey, these people are under my care, that they have chosen me. And so I take that responsibility seriously. And it's something that you care about and cherish, because there's a lot of leaders out there, but you can't lead without people. And so if you have no people, you can't call yourself a leader. And if you don't attract anyone, then, you have to check what skills and what energy you're putting out. So, for me, leadership is magnetic. People will know, which direction is going to help them get to where they want to go. And then that is an honor to have that responsibility.
Okay. I think we are getting to the point where we can close off. So I'm gonna let you have a last word, like anything you want to communicate with the audience.
Oh man, we talked about a lot.
Yes, we've covered so many things. We went from the military to relationships.
Yeah. Well,
leadership.
I think life, if I had to say one thing, is that life is about taking risks. And if you don't take any risks in life, you will never, I don't think it's really living, right? Living is about experiences, about becoming uncomfortable and challenging yourself to grow. And there's, things that we will have to do that may be risky in life. But I think the biggest risk you can have is do nothing, right? To sit comfortably down and just want to be comfortable your whole life. It is risky to do that. There's more growth in taking chances and experiencing things and living to the fullest. That's important. We take chances to live to the fullest. We don't take chances to be comfortable and safe, right? Safe is is keeping you from your growth and keeping you from your potential. And to me, that's not a way to live, right? To me, way to live is to have as many experiences as you can. I don't believe in good or bad. I believe in just life experiences. So sometimes you have good experiences, sometimes you have bad experiences, but it's still life.
The hero's journey.
Hey, it's a journey.
Yes.
Don't be scared to live it.
There's there's so many metaphors on this one. It's like in every culture, like when a boy becomes a man,
Right.
they go on this journey, but then you have to take the risk and you have to take the journey.
Yeah, you take directions, and some directions lead to a bad end, some good end, but you can't stop moving.
Yes. I think with that we can conclude this first episode. I think a lot of people are gonna love this. I learned a lot from this. Like I learned a lot of things that I didn't know before. So I really appreciate you and the time today.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad I can be here, and I'm glad I can share.
Yes. And I definitely think we should do this again, and I look forward to it.
All right. Hey, likewise. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you for your time, and yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Cheers.
All right, cool.